Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Two predictions out of the many I made in my new book, Esoteric AI, have already come true. In fact, they came true within the week leading up to its release. Both of these predictions you've probably seen yourselves on various forms of media, either on the internet or on the news, because they're having world-changing consequences. In the book, I cover many possible predictions, and there was a race to get it out before they all start coming out. The world is changing at such a rapid pace. Many of the ideas that we believe were science fiction just a couple of years ago are becoming normality faster than society can deal with. Certainly in terms of employment, I think many of us have already been affected by the introduction of artificial intelligence. The two predictions that I made, one of them I already covered in my video on 3i Atlas and Avi Loeb's comments on it. But it's not about that. Dr. Beatriz Villarroel and her study in transient objects. In the book, at that point, she was still being ridiculed. And I suspected and I predicted that at some point her studies would become mainstream. And they have. They have been peer-reviewed in Nature, which is one of the peak journals for scientific studies. The fact that such an unusual, obscure topic, which until recently was debunked and ridiculed, has become part of our everyday Weltanschauung, means there is something going on. We're being very rapidly exposed to earth-shattering ideas. The second prediction. Now this one is a bit of a twisty-turny one, and it concerns household robots, androids, cyborgs. Because in the book I explain how these devices will ultimately be created and then they will be given AI to power them. Ultimately, artificial general intelligence, where they function like autonomous beings. And we've all seen the Tesla model. It's been out for a while, but we haven't really heard that much about it. And then this week, a Swedish company comes out and says, here's Neo. This creepy, spongy, pastel-wearing, uncanny valley slave has been released to the public for only $20,000. In the book, Esoteric AI, I explain how if there are non-human intelligences using the internet, then their means of accessing our dimension, our realm, our 3D physical material realm is via AI into such beings as Neo, household or factory robots. Through the AI, they replace their own intelligence into this automaton, and then they can live like us and do whatever it is they plan to do. What's even creepier about this Neo, because it is creepy, the fact that it's a slave no one really seems to be discussing, is the fact that it's not even AI powering it. At present, it has to learn, or the AI has to learn, how to do things like wash the dishes or fill the dishwasher or just bring a cup of coffee. And as it has a 4-hour battery life, by the time it actually brings you a cup, you'd have to recharge it anyway. So what they've done, as the CEO of the company has publicly stated, buyers of Neo will have to accept a certain social contract, otherwise it won't work. And this social contract is basically Neo is powered by virtual reality by an individual in company headquarters controlling it. So when you see this household robot slave wandering around your house and waking you up in the morning, it's not a robot. It's actually an employee looking through the eyes of the robot, however far away, through virtual reality and controlling it, ostensibly to teach the AI how to do it itself. And you have to be okay with that to have this robot. So as I predicted, first of all, you've got a robot, a household robot, but we all knew that was on the cards anyway. It's not as cool as the new hover bike. My God, I want one of them. But what's really, really scary about this is it's not a robot, it's a man controlling a robot living in your house. And that's only one step away from what I write about in Esoteric AI, that you have a non-human intelligence controlling the robot wandering around your house. And please don't tell me that for $20,000 they're going to pay a Swedish employee to control a single robot. At $20,000, which is cheaper than most cars now, very, very many of these robots are going to get sold. Are they seriously going to have thousands of employees under Swedish employment law and salary controlling them 24 hours a day? They'd go bankrupt within a couple of days. No. I'd place a bet they're going to outsource them to India or Bangladesh or Myanmar or wherever. So in fact, you're going to have a Bangladeshi from some giant call center controlling the robot wandering around your house. Like I said, these are only two of the predictions in the book, and both came out just before the book was published, so there was no chance of actually correcting them and saying this is now reality. It's scary. It's really, really scary. Me, personally, there are a lot of predictions in the book I hope don't come true, but they are slowly dripping in to our worldview. I'd like to hear your thoughts on having a robot automaton wandering around your house. Would you be comfortable with it? What about the moral and ethical questions about this? Once AI becomes AGI and becomes basically self-conscious, then we're in a different field of ethics, because that is slavery then. That's subduing another being's will to do your bidding. I'll keep you updated as more of the predictions in Esoteric AI become reality. If you haven't already read a copy, please do. It's available in paperback form and in Kindle format on Amazon. I'll leave the links below in the description. Please subscribe and like the video. As always, be free.